political stories in the country. The All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council has debunked the rumor that its presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, plans to relocate Nigeria's capital from Abuja to Lagos if he becomes president in 2023. In a statement by the Director of Media and Publicity, Bayo Ononuga, the council blamed such rumors on the handiwork of opposition parties. Ononuga said they are shocked that some people could contrive such lies, all in the name of politics and the bid to confuse rising support base for Tinubu across the country. He has emphasized that Tinubu does not contemplate such plan and will not do anything that is so unconstitutional. The former governor of Delta State, Emmanuel Donha, says the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and his running mate, Ifeanyi Okowa, are the best bets to return Nigeria to the path of sustainable economic growth and global. Donha made the assertion in Warri during his meeting with members of the state PDP campaign council led by the state's campaign director. He noted that Atiku and Okowa are patriots with high integrity earned over the years in public service, and as such will be able to deploy their wealth of experience to take Nigeria to an era of economic prosperity. Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest for today, who is the presidential candidate of the Accord Party, Professor Christopher Imumolen. Please stay with us.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
The National Assembly is a busy place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
It's not your regular show. It's an online interactive session where we share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. I am Babajide Kolaji Otitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show, Issues with Jide.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TV.
You're welcome back to Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. Now to our interview with the guest of the day. I am now joined by the presidential candidate of the Accord Party, Professor Christopher Imumolen. The presidential candidate of the Accord Party, Professor Christopher Imumolen, at 39 years old, is the youngest of all the 18 presidential candidates vying to become Nigeria's president in 2023, having been born on the 5th of September 1983. On the 30th of January 2021, Imumolen picked expression of interest form to join the presidential race on the platform of Accord Party. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You're a scholar, an entrepreneur, and an engineer. Why did you decide to go into politics?
You know, we are in a time where, as a country, Nigeria needs an alternative. We are looking towards a new breed of leadership. And I think it's high time for young and aspiring Nigerians who believe they have what it takes, who know they have what it takes to begin to come into politics, especially at the level of presidency, to see what we can do. Because I know clearly that the mandate of transforming our country is in our generation. It's in our generation to build a country. It's in our generation to making sure that Nigeria become a progressive nation. You know, for too long as a nation, we have experienced a lot of backwardness. We've retarded as a nation because of the kind of ideas that our leaders possess. So it's high time for fresh politicking. It's high time for those who have fresh mindset, who are charitable in heart, who believe that Nigeria can sustain its position in the map of progressive nation. Yes, so my coming into politics. Okay, so that is what I represent, and that is what we're doing. For me, Professor Chris, if you clearly see what we've been doing as young Nigerians, we belong to the group of young Nigerians all over the world who had made Nigeria proud. You know, if you look at what is happening globally, the generation that is making Nigeria proud are the young Nigerians. It's as if looking at the Nigerian contest, the young Nigerians in the entertainment world, in business, in sports, actually the one progressing our nation. If the truth must be said, we know clearly that Nigeria, the future and now of this country, lies in our hands. The earlier, the better we realize it, that we are the one that holds the mandate to build a nation. If you look at other countries like the UK, like Grenada, and every other part, like in the Canada, countries like that have handed over their economy to our generation. It's high time our generation begin to know that we must ensure that we drive our country forward. We have what it takes. We have the knowledge. We have the strength. We have the passion. We have the heart to drive our nation forward. The older generation have done their best, but their best is not enough. Because looking at where Nigeria is today, looking at where we ought to be today, we clearly know that Nigeria do not have hope in the hands of the generation ahead of us. So we must begin to galvanize ourselves. That is what we're doing. And a time like this is very important in our generation, that a generation and a group of people must come together in our own generation to take mantle of leadership and lead Nigeria better. You know, our children are all there dying. Our mothers are becoming widows at young age. There's virtually nothing we can hold on to as a nation to say we have prospered or we have progressed. We are tired. I'm just a young Nigerian that is as tired as every other Nigerian. We are tired of where we are. We are tired of the security situation. We are tired of the economic crunches. We are tired of the fact that the young Nigerians do not possess enough education to compete internationally. We are tired of the situation of our country, and we can't just be tired. It's important we need to begin to go into the political space and make sure that we get it done.
You would agree with me that some young Nigerians have been given the chance to, occupy some powerful positions at different times, but they have disappointed. Now, what makes you different?
My antecedent. I'm not just a young Nigerian. Check my antecedent. Check what I've done at my age. I have prospered privately. I am probably one of the youngest Nigerians who God has blessed so much. And it's not just because of the blessing. I worked so hard to ensure that I built the empire I've built. You can check my history. I am probably the only black person who owns 3 universities at this age. I'm a professor at my age. I have empowered Nigeria all across the Nigerian state with youth scholarship because I believe so much in education. I believe that one of the two that will drive Africa and Nigeria into self-realization is education. So that platform I've created over the past 12, 15 years by providing scholarships to Nigeria. I've done that privately with my private funds. That shows passion and value. The kind of leader Nigeria is looking towards is a leader that will be bringing in knowledge, that will be bringing in fear of God, that will be bringing in passion, that will be bringing in value. You know, I'm a Christian, I relate with everybody. I'm a Nigerian that, you know, look at what we've done in the north and the south privately. So what I'm bringing in that might be a little bit different from every other youth, for example, like what you said, who have disappointed, who have been given opportunity to lead, is the fact that privately have done so much for myself and I've done so much for a lot of people who need education in Nigeria. Till date, we have the statistics that our organization, the organization I lead, has given over 500,000 Nigerian scholarship. We've set up over 200 scholarship centers all across Nigeria because I believe so much. Some people said, oh, why education? You know, I chose education privately as a tool to empower Nigeria. Any other person can choose healthcare, can choose privately. If I've done this, I believe politics is an avenue for you to do more. You know, looking at and again, knowledge. I am knowledgeable. I have a passion. I have the will. I understand how to solve our problem from the problem of infrastructural deficit to security, the technology, and everything that is needed to drive our economy into a 21st century country, to digitalize our country, to create a system, to strengthen our economy, to strengthen our institution, and to build Nigeria with value, Nigerians that can compete with all that. That is what I represent. A time must come where a David must emerge, where a David must come to be and take leadership to drive our nation to where it ought to be.
All right.
That is what I represent. I represent that new breed of generation, that generation that will drive Nigeria to its land of prosperity.
All right. Now that you are in this presidential race, not forgetting that you're going against formidable opponents like Atiku, Tinubu, Obi, and Kwakwanso, I would like you to rate your chances against these opponents of yours.
You know, yes, we know these are faces that are very familiar in the Nigerian politics. These persons have been in Nigerian politics for the past 20, 30, many years. And my chances is this, that we now begin to have a ratio of Nigerians who are tired of the status quo. We are now beginning to have more Nigerians who are tired of the status quo, who are looking for a new idea, who understand what Nigeria needs to prosper, who knows that a man who is not affiliated to those who have destroyed our country probably have more chance to succeed our country. You know, our problem in Nigeria is a problem that is caused by those who have led us, who is currently leading us, mismanagement and a lot of issues. So it boils down to tell us that the man who is going to fix our country most likely is someone like me, who is coming in with experience for the people, who is not affiliated to the set of those who have greedily destroyed our economy. So Nigerians are beginning to be aware, and the ratio of those who are frustrated, who are tired, who want a change, is beginning to be more than the ratio of those who don't care, who want to just vote on the religious line. And that is our strategy. We are targeting those set of people, we are targeting them as blocks, and we are counting our votes, and we believe that in coming months, the narrations and the narrative regarding Nigeria are likely to change. We have high chances. I believe that Nigerians are beginning to get more education about who to choose as leaders. Nigerians are beginning to know that as a president, we are applying for a job to run the economy. And that is where we are catching in. And believe me, and my party also, Accord is not a small party. Accord has produced a lot of what's it called, candidates, a lot of politicians who is in various seats. Look at our gubernatorial candidates. These are strong politicians in various capacities. And if you look at even the Osho election, for example, look at even if the number of votes was not much, but we're still like third or fourth in that vote. Accord is a party that I've been on and is a strong party. And building on this, and for myself also, coming from the humanitarian background, having to be one of the largest NGO that has over 7 million membership, you know, we already have built a salient structure across the 776 local government of Nigeria. And I can say this, the 2023 election is going to be a shocker to the big political parties, so-called.
All right, so because you have mentioned status quo and affiliation, who is your godfather, or who are your godfathers, your political godfathers?
Nigerians are my political godfather. You know, Nigerians are the ones who want to serve. You know, Nigerians are the ones, you know, we must begin to change ideology. We must begin to change things until we begin to see Nigerians as our employer, until we begin to see Nigerians as the people we want to serve, until we begin to see that policies must be geared towards encouraging Nigerians. The NBS recently released a statistic that states that 133 million Nigerians live below poverty. Those should be our godfather. They are the ones who want to serve. They are the ones who want to pull out from poverty. We live in a country where we only exist, we don't live. You know, we need to begin to give life to the Nigerians that truly need support. So the Nigerians by themselves are the political godfather. That is why you see that I've never raised a campaign fund. I will not do that. I've never asked anybody. Yes, I've seek advice of past presidents to know what they did and how they did what they did so that we can improve on performance. But the truth is, these Nigerians and the very Nigerians ones who are tired, who are faced with security challenges, who godfathers. Then a better life.
Also, if you eventually win the election, what should Nigerians be expecting in your 100 days in office?
One is to ensure that Nigeria become a united nation. You know, there's not been a time as this where Nigerians have been this divided. And no nation can experience progress without peace. That is the frank truth. You know, we are going to unite Nigeria together because we become a leader that will select through a process that will ensure that leaders that have value work with us to unite these nations together. We are going to run a true federalism in the state. We are going to ensure that Nigeria truly is a country with 6 wives. That is what I always call it. A country, a polygamous country with 6 wives. What is done to one must be done to all. We are going to run a fair justice for all system. You know, the first 100 years, we are going to unite this country because very key. If any president candidate come and tell you in the first 100 years, what we must do first is to unite the country. We are going to unite and make sure that our brothers in the southeast, our brothers in the north and the southwest begin to see Nigeria as their country. It's very key. Once we do that, they will begin to gain patriotism. Then by the side, we'll be making sure that we begin to work on electricity issues, security problem, and we begin to create a system for our country. You know, I'm a digital professor, and I understand sharply how to create a digital economy. One of the things we lack as a nation is a digital economy, a country that cannot track its activity, a country that doesn't have a system, does not go anywhere. So we are going to make sure that we create a system, but first and foremost is to unite the country so that every one of us can begin again to believe that we have a country and we build the country together, because the job of building a country is not a one man's job. It's a collective job, and that can only be done when everybody believes in the entity of Nigeria.
All right, so Nigerians are craving for new crop of leaders, but then looking at all the dynamics, do you think Nigeria is ready to bring about such change in 2023?
Yeah, Nigerians are ready. Nigerians are ready. We as the candidate need to do more job to create voters' education, to let Nigerians know that we are applying for a job that is tied to the destiny of every Nigerian. Nigeria must begin to see that once you sell your vote, you've sold your destiny. It's just like the man in the Holy Book that sold his future for a pot of porridge. You know, we must begin to see that once you sell your vote, you know, those who buy your vote will not fix those roads, will not fix those education. Those who bought your vote will not, because they've paid you for it. So we Nigerians are ready, but as we begin to move towards February, we must, and that is what we are doing, to begin to engage Nigerians the more. We have 133 million Nigerians live in poverty. How long do we continue like that as a nation? You know, that is that realization. You can see what is happening to our economy, what is happening to our dollar rate, what is happening to we don't need a president that will just give us a manifesto. We need a manifestation. These are things that Nigeria must begin to see. And that you can only know by looking at the antecedents of those that apply for the job. And Professor Chris, I have done so much. And I'm not saying this because presidency should be used as a reward to reward me for what. No, we just need a paradigm shift. And we need new people because we can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. So this education is what we currently be doing. We currently be engaging the media to ensure that Nigerians are ready. They are ready because they are faced with the reality. They are ready because they see poverty. Look at the flooding issue. Look at poverty.
All right.
Look at death. We are ready because we are faced with the reality.
All right, so talking about education and how critical this is, as a scholar, how do you intend to fix this?
One, there is not too much money, to train your people. If you feel education is expensive, then you try ignorance. That's what we do in Nigeria. See, there are some professions you don't joke with. One of those professions is teachers. Teach them, because education is about building your people. The kind of people, what you train, if you train your people as monkey, they become monkey. Is one of the fundamental responsibilities of any government to educate. Once you educate is not about certificate, it's about building the mind of your citizens. Because Nigerians are the very one that's going to fix this economy. So for me, I am going to invest so much in education, not just formal. We're talking about informal, non-formal, and formal education. We're going to control what is going to the mind of Nigeria so Nigeria can become citizens, can become human beings that have transformed mind. And that is the only way we can build a nation. No matter how much we invest in other resources, if we don't invest in the human resources, believe me, we go nowhere. We're going to digitalize our educational system so that those child in Zamfara can have affordable learning, even when they're in Zamfara. Because Nigeria is becoming Nigerians are savvy, are digital savvy people. We have phones, we have technology everywhere. We are going to invest in the training of our teachers. We are going to look at the curriculum, and we're going to redraft our curriculum. I was so happy to see that history is being brought back into the curriculum. We need that more. We are not just going to be training Nigerians on entrepreneurship. We are going to support them to become real entrepreneurs to create jobs. Education for me is key. That is why at my early age, I've been able to gotten to that. I've gotten to the climax, or more like the climax of education, because I believe so much in it. So we will be doing a lot of work from the primary, secondary to the university. TVET, technical education. Look at the Tiger Woods. Look at what is happening in West Indians. These are countries that have invested so much in building capacity for its people. That is what we are going to be doing, and we are going to be doing intentionally to ensure that Nigeria become quality human beings that can solve global and local problems.
All right, so let me quickly ask you about your running mate, Bala Bello Maru, who is the former secretary to the Zamfara state government. Now, how much political influence does he have that can help you, navigate through the northern leadership hemisphere?
Yeah, Bala Bello Maru was carefully selected because I understand political balancing and fairness. I am from the south, Christian. Bala Bello Maru, Muslim, North. It's key that candidates must respect Nigeria by looking at those respect lines. That's even a body language of the kind of leader you get. If a candidate cannot respect that balancing, that's one of the things we did to choose a Muslim from the North. And Bala Bello Maru, as an individual, was, like you said, the secretary to the state of Zamfara. He's an experienced politician. I'm a technocrat. He is a politician, also a technocrat too, because he had his work experience from the banking sector. Right. He had worked as directors in various parts.
All right, thank you very much.
Experience in politicking and governance. And again, regarding influence, Bala Bello Maru has been secretary of various political parties before joining Accord. He has a lot of influence, and I also rely on his experience. And again, looking at Zamfara as a state that has been bedeviled with security challenge, he was also selected because from his experience as someone from Zamfara who has worked with Zamfara, I will be getting first-hand information about the root cause of our security challenge and how to tackle the security issue, of course, which I already know, that one of the major causes of our security challenge is safety of its people, is investment in technology, and again, majorly fighting the economic hardship. So going back to that question, Baba Bello Umaru has deep experience, and I believe as we begin to engage in this election, Nigeria will begin to see the true alternative in Accord Party.
It's been a wonderful time with you, Professor Christopher Imumolen, presidential candidate of the Accord Party. Thank you very much for coming on Politics Tonight. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight, but the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and tomorrow for another edition of Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Black Friday is here, and ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. We all know the benefits that come from eating a healthy balance. Sometimes that's not always easy. Until now. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the NutriBullet, the must-have kitchen item of the year. Here's how it works. First, add spinach for fiber, berries for antioxidants, and some banana for potassium. Add water and watch how the NutriBullet completely breaks everything down. Even almond nuts, cashew nuts, and tiger nuts have been completely broken down. The